Hello, I'm Monet Redmond, Director of Member Services with IIDA. Thank you for tuning in to our board interview. I have the honor and privilege of interviewing Sascha Wagner, FIIDA, AIA, today on his experiences as an international board member and president of IIDA. Those who don't know Sascha, the very few who don't know Sascha, Sascha is the president and CEO of Huntsman Architectural Group. Sascha's project work and articles on the practice of design has won a number of awards and he's been published in Interior Magazine, Metropolis, IIDA Perspectives, Urban Land, and Contract Magazine, to name a few. He was born and raised in Germany. Sascha holds degrees from the University of Toronto and Ringling College of Art and Design. He previously served as a member of IIDA's Strategic Advisory Committee and as IIDA Northern California's chapter president. An NCIDQ certified interior designer and LEED accredited professional, Sascha is also a registered architect in California and New York. He is a constant advocate for the design profession through involvement with IIDA and other professional organizations. A consummate mentor, Sascha has focused his career not only on creating impactful spaces, but on helping designers reach their professional potential. Thank you, Sascha, for joining me today. Hearing about your experiences as an IIDA International Board member is very important and can truly help others who are interested in applying. So we appreciate you being here today.
It's great to be with you, Monet, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. So tell me, Sascha, did someone nominate you or encourage you to apply to the IIDA Board of Directors?
I was encouraged, yeah. I think, so I was serving, as you mentioned, as Northern California chapter president at the time, and I was also on over the years, have been on a number of special task forces, and then most recently on this advisory committee to the international board. And so through that, had interaction with international board members and the current president, past presidents, and so on, and was able to speak to them about their experience, what it was like to serve on the board. And they were so encouraging and so supportive. All of them, you know, mentioned what a great experience it was, how much they'd learned from it, and how much they grew through it. And so they all encouraged me to pursue and apply for a board position, which I then did. So yeah.
Sounds good. So do you feel that they kind of pushed you to apply, or was it something that it was a goal of yours to apply?
It was definitely a goal of mine to apply. I was really using those conversations to kind of gauge what I was getting myself into. And I think that, like even like a chapter board position, you get out of it what you put into it, and the level of commitment and involvement, varies, and each person decides how much they want to pour into it, and the rewards are proportional, I think, and it's been a great experience for me so far.
Beautiful. Sounds good, Sascha. What did it mean to you, both personally and professionally, when you were selected as an international board member?
Well, I was just thrilled. I was really excited and thankful to be included in what is, a long line of great professionals that have represented the organization and the profession as a whole before me, in as president of IIDA, and board members who've served before me as well. So to be included in that continuum of leadership was a real honor for me. I remember, when I was a design student at Ringling College, I had then IIDA president Gary Wheeler spoke at our school, and I attended that talk, and he was speaking about the profession in general, what it's like to be a design professional, the power that the design has to influence and impact people, and also what role organizational membership like IIDA can have in a career. And I was really inspired by that, and it really got me excited about entering the profession, and felt like I was getting into the beginning of an exciting career. And at the time, I told myself that one day I'd love to be in the position to do that, to inspire someone to get into design as a career, or to commit to it, and so being able to give back to the profession in whatever small measure has really been meaningful for me, and it's really been a privilege.
Yes, and I know that you inspire others very well, especially also being a mentor, in addition to all of your other roles. So we thank you for your commitment to the industry and to others who want to be in your shoes one day. So Sascha, I did want to ask you, which IIDA initiatives are important to you at the moment? I know that we have been at the forefront of diversity initiatives, and with the new Equity Council, all of the work that we're doing. What do you feel is the most important to you right now?
Yeah, you mentioned the Equity Council. Clearly, the intersection of diversity, equity, and inclusion, the environment, and wellness really is the topic of our time, right? The issues they're urgent and they're interconnected, and IIDA is committed to generating real change, and that's evident in a lot of our current initiatives. A couple of examples, like this summer, Angie Lee, our president-elect, and I were proud to represent IIDA in helping develop the interior design pledge for positive impact, and along with other representatives from other professional organizations and Metropolis Magazine, and members of some key firms helping craft that. And I think that's an important first step. It's obviously not a solution or the answer, but it's a commitment and acknowledgement of how important these issues are. Earlier in the year, IIDA launched the Design Your World program, right, with After School Matters, which is an organization that helps teens, in this case, discover and create pathways to make our profession more accessible. And so hopefully we can roll that out at a larger scale, and so all those initiatives are extremely important. And the other one for me has always been advocacy for the profession. I just recently attended the CIDQ conference, and the discussion was about how the recent legislation that was passed in North Carolina could hopefully become a model for other states where the right to practice interior design, currently lacks a legal framework. And I think that that issue of advocacy has been part of my career journey, and ultimately I became an architect because I couldn't properly practice interior design to the full extent of my capabilities in California. And I think that people shouldn't have to do that. And we need to keep fighting for the acknowledgement of the profession in the eyes of the law in every state, and in Canada as well. So those are really things that I'm passionate about and hope to continue to contribute to, both during my tenure as IID president and beyond.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad that you brought up advocacy. We do have a new advocacy director that's super involved with all of the initiatives around the country. And we're just excited to see the changes that will be made, and knowing that you're a supporter of that is amazing. So Sascha, how has becoming a board member impacted your professional career? So this question is just for people who are interested in joining the board. Of course, for all of the changes that can be made as a board member, assisting with that change. But when it comes to your professional career, how has being an international board member impacted that?
Yeah, sure. I think it's certainly helped me grow and develop professionally in a lot of different ways. It's, gained new skills. I've expanded my network of peers and partners, learned from the many incredible board members and leaders that we have in the organization. So you're just surrounded by dedicated, committed people who share your passion. And, that's a really positive thing to do, right? To surround yourself with similarly, passionate people, and so the board just kind of amplifies all those opportunities for learning, and I think obviously this happened. My tenure had been during COVID, and so it wasn't quite what I expected. It hasn't unfolded as I thought it might have, but it actually has created some interesting and different opportunities. I think being able to participate in the dialogue that we've had throughout the COVID experience as an organization, but also as an industry at large, and really feeling more connected to one another, and feeling sort of, I think, also reconnected to the purpose, the impact that built environments have on the human experience. You know, that has been something that's come into the forefront in the last couple of years, and people really feel, you know, just because of the isolation that they've felt working at home or being at home alone, the need for environments to be places where we connect with each other, and you know, we're in a unique position as designers, as interior designers, to forward that and to make that meaningful, and so that's come to light throughout the COVID era, shall we call it, and I think in a way it's been a unique opportunity to be part of that dialogue. But yeah, we did a lot during the last couple of years virtually, and you know, connecting with other chapter leaders or with members. You know, a lot of our programs have shifted online, and now we're starting to look at, you know, 2022 and planning some IRL events. Which I'm really looking forward to. I enjoy, you know, I get so much energy from being around people in person, and so I'm looking forward to having those experiences be part of what remains in my term.
Yes, absolutely. And you just brought up a good point that you were president during a very, very difficult time. So we appreciate all that you've done with all of the stresses of COVID and, you know, the stay-at-home orders. You were in the thick of it, and you were our president. So I know that had to be difficult for you. So for you to actually agree to a second term, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a privilege, like I said, and it made sense to you know, for the board members to extend their term so we could, you know, get back on a regular rhythm of terms starting in at our annual meeting in the summer, and of course, you know, the disruption during COVID meant that there were a lot of ongoing initiatives that kind of stretched, and yeah, it's been a privilege to be able to participate.
Yes, we totally appreciate you and the other board members. So Sascha, now that we're talking about the board members meeting, and especially virtually through COVID, how often does the board meet, and what kind of time commitment does it involve to be an international board member?
Yeah, that's a good question. And so we've been meeting virtually pretty much every month, 4 to 6 weeks or so, and then in normal circumstances, the board would meet quarterly in person, right? And in addition to that, we have some other association meetings, right? Like our annual meeting, usually coinciding with NeoCon. We have committee meetings. If you're a president or a president-elect on the board, you're also by default part of the finance committee, and so you review the organization's finance and structure, and then there's other things, industry roundtable or think tanks or other industry conferences that you can participate in as a representative of IIDA on the board, and those vary, right? And I think that you hopefully find, as I did, and as many others have told me, they have found, you know, that these things are interesting and engaging, and you want to participate. It doesn't feel like a real commitment, because it's just, you know, or it's not an inconvenience in any way, because it's an interesting thing to be a part of. And so it meant pre-COVID a fair amount of travel, you know, to attend these things, but and I sort of enjoy that, but you know, I mean, some meetings are more fun than others. The budget meetings are maybe a little less exciting, but at the same time, you're part of shaping the future of the organization, which is thrilling. So, and you know, the HQ team, yourself included, so many great people working, quote unquote, behind the scenes at IIDA that make the work of the board possible, and that support us in so many ways. And I think it's just an incredibly well-run organization, and because of that, the board positions are, you know, I'm not gonna say easy, but they're there's much less effort involved, right? It's kind of a very smooth and well-run experience.
That's good to know. The fact that we all work as a team, staff and board members, makes everything worthwhile. Sascha, how do you organize and balance your work life, personal life, and volunteering?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's you know, a lot of overlap already in terms of my work life and volunteering at IIDA. There's, certainly I would be going to NeoCon whether there was an IIDA annual meeting or not. And so, there's a lot of opportunities to combine travel or, the things that we care about in our organization and that we're advocating for. And, there's so much overlap with what IIDA is working on. That it just sort of, for me anyway, blends together pretty seamlessly. And every now and again, there are some conflicts and things that need to be balanced, schedules and agendas that need to shift, or compromises that need to be made. But for the most part, like I said, I think IIDA is an incredibly well-run organization, and the board's activities are planned out very thoughtfully. And so with enough advance planning, I've been able to manage doing both, and neither my work here at Huntsman or my involvement at IIDA really ever feels like work, and I think the saying, if you find something you love, you never work a day in your life. It feels like that most of the time. Not every day, but most of the time.
And that's what matters, right? That you're doing what you love and you're able to balance it well, and not feel like it's a burden and not feel like it's work. So I'm happy to hear that you're able to balance that well.
Yeah, my colleagues have been so supportive and in terms of allowing me to apply for this position, and we've got a history at our firm. We've had 3 chapter presidents at Huntsman, IIDA chapter presidents over the years, and so I think it's definitely part of our culture, and we want to support professional organizations, and we support our team members and colleagues in being members in IIDA and other organizations, because we want them to be engaged, participants in the profession. And I think this is a great way to do that.
Yes, that's an amazing model for other firms to support their designers and architects and support the organizations that best serve the community. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, we consider it an investment in the future leadership skills for our staff, right? If through these opportunities to participate at a board level or at a chapter level or at a committee level, you're always learning something and you're growing and you're taking those leadership skills back to your firm. So, it's an easy investment to make. Yes,
very beneficial. So, Sascha, how can designers best leverage the resources and opportunities provided by IIDA membership? It's good that you mentioned firms investing in their teams and their staff. How can we help other designers best leverage their resources through IIDA?
Yeah, I think to me, IIDA, the most important thing is the connections that it provides, right? I think that you get to know your professional peers and you expand your network, maybe from a regional level to a national level, and you get to know, colleagues in other firms, people who are similarly passionate about interior design and have similar challenges in their practice, and that kind of peer network is incredibly powerful. It can lead to recruiting opportunities, partnership opportunities, project leads. For me personally, all 3 of those things have happened just this year. and so connecting with industry members is also really important. Like the industry members are our vendor and manufacturer partners, and understanding the importance that they play in our world and the ability to create meaningful project work. We couldn't do it without them. And I think over the years through IIDA, I've gotten to know a number of industry professionals who have opened my eyes to how that side of the business really works, and how much we need to continue to support each other. So I think IIDA is it's the great connector, right, of the profession. And I think that's what, what designers can leverage when they join, and especially when they become more actively involved, including board positions either at a chapter level or nationally.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of your experiences with, meeting industry professionals, do you have a memorable IIDA moment or experience to share?
Okay, so one thing that comes to mind is like just in the last couple of years, we traveled to Germany and to Switzerland about 2 years ago when we were still traveling. I think it was 2018, and we were a delegation, and we were going to speak at Orgatech. I remember, eating way too much food in Germany and having a lot of fun traveling with the group. But we were at Orgatech, and we talked about the future of human-centric design, and I remember that conversation was like, the departure from considering the efficiency and productivity is like the barometer of whether a space is successful, right? Because I think that up until then, those were the buzzwords, right? Like how many people can you put in the space, and how many square feet per person, and how productive and efficient are they, and all of that. And we were talking about how there is a change afoot, and there was already in 2018 a change afoot where it was about like the built environment having to do more than that, right? And supporting physiological, but also psychological needs of the occupants, right? And so that was a really exciting panel discussion. And the reason that it's coming to mind now is because, look where we are, and we're the dialogue about design and the importance of design and the importance of built environments to support that, physical well-being, mental well-being, the cultural role that they play in organizations, and we were kind of at the forefront of that discussion, 3 years ago, and I think that to me it's just another example of how IIDA is kind of engaging on these important issues, right, constantly, and we're always talking about what's next and what the future holds and where are we going as a profession and what should the conversation be about, and we're leading that conversation, and to me that's really exciting to be part of that dialogue.
Yes, extremely. That is so exciting. Just knowing that 3 years ago we were at the forefront of this, like just knowing that we're a part of something huge. It helps me to wake up every morning and love what I do in support of all the designers of IIDA and members. Sascha, this has been a great conversation. I wanted to end by asking you, why would you recommend board service to another member, considering if they're considering becoming involved? Why would you recommend board service as opposed to any other council or committee? What would set the board service apart from others?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, like I said before, serving on the board has been just a real honor and privilege. I think that, the rewards of learning from others who are equally passionate and committed. Someone told me, if you want to serve in a board position, you might have some reservations about, whether it's public speaking or whether it's, maybe you don't know as much about a particular area or topic, and you might feel intimidated that, the advice they gave me was just say yes to everything, every opportunity that comes along. Just say yes, and then you'll figure it out, right? And that's what I've been doing since I was a chapter president in California, Northern California. I've tried to say yes to every opportunity that's come along, and the result has been that I've always learned something. I've always learned something, and through the whole experience collectively, I feel like I've grown personally, professionally, and been able to hopefully give back a little bit to a profession that's meant the world to me. And so you're guaranteed to learn something new. You're guaranteed to meet people that'll become friends for life. If you lean into it and put your heart and soul into it, you're going to be rewarded with experiences that you'll remember and that'll help you in the future. And so it's that simple. You're going to love it if you're passionate about design and you're passionate about your profession and you want to give back. This is a great way to do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sascha. This has been a great experience listening to you, listening to your experiences on the board and with your firm. And it has been an honor to speak with you today. Is there anything else you want to leave our audience with before we end our conversation?
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure talking with you as well. And I think the final thought would be that we're talking about board membership and participating at that level. There are many ways to participate in IIDA. You could participate at a committee level in your local chapter, organizing an event, or participate in advocacy, go speak to your local representatives. There's so many different ways you can help the profession, and you don't have to apply to be an international board member. But if you are considering it, then, like I said, I think it's an incredibly rewarding experience. And so my only advice, if you will, would be to participate at whatever level you're comfortable at, +1, right? Be a little bit uncomfortable, stretch a little bit, say yes to some things, and you'll be amazed at how rewarding it is.
Absolutely. Just say yes to everything. So thank you so much for joining me, Sascha. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much.